Welcome to another video. In today's video, a standing video, I'm going to go over how doing hard things affects your baseline confidence level. And so this is something that I was writing about tonight because I was doing a little reflection on this past year. Um, Over the course of this year, I've had many hard things going on in my life, from work to Ironman to my PE studying and testing, and you know, all the other little stuff that everybody else deals with. And I was reflecting on how I feel finishing out this year versus how I feel or how I felt at the start of this year. And, it got me thinking about how I started to feel around like the 3-quarter mark of this year, right around when I did pass my PE, my professional engineer's licensing exam. Um, this year, specifically with work, has been like crazy, crazy difficult. But I've been noticing that as the year went on, and specifically after July, after finishing my second Ironman, and then after October, after passing my PE, there was a slight mental shift that happened a bit subconsciously in my mind, where, and it manifested in work, obviously. That's why I brought work up in the beginning. Um, it manifested very subtly, where it felt like as I was doing things and making decisions and, going about my business, where if you've listened to this video series before, you know that I have a mid level, upper level management position. And I started to notice that the respect that I was receiving from the people around me was increasing, and I was feeling more calm about, you know, daily decisions and really managing people and holding people accountable and hosting large meetings with high level people in the organization that I'm working in right now. And those things specifically were not necessarily my strong suit coming into this year. Um, and that's natural when you're switching into a managerial type position. Like, honestly, for those of you who've done it, there's this gray period where you still feel like you're a bit of the new guy on the totem pole, but then at the same time, you're responsible for driving progress of other people. So, not related to your effort, but related to the effort that you can make other people put in or into their job. And so the gray area there is you're not used to, say, being a driving force behind someone else's effort, and also being the primary driving force behind your own effort. And in that gray period, I was starting to feel like a bit overwhelmed because the project that I was given in that gray period was taking over for one of the more senior people in this specific organization on a very high priority, high visibility, and high cost project. The cost of the project is upwards of 50 million, and it's considered a growth project for the organization. So, a project that directly leads to increased revenue and increased reputation in not only the community that we're in, but in the eyes of the government and the state. So, there's a lot of pressure from upper management on this project, and there was a period of time as I was starting to transition into this role, taking this project from this person, and thinking that like there's no way that I could handle this scope like all on my own and handle it in a way where it would be done to the satisfaction of, this large corporation that seems to really care about the success of this project. And that was my going into 2024 mentality. Like, I was always good at my job and, fairly smart and always put in the work to do a good job, but there was something lacking in the arena of confidence at this level. And over the course of the first 7 months, I was doing my Ironman training for pretty much that whole 7 months from January through July, where my race was in mid July. And then having balanced that training with the work that I was doing for this organization, and then still performing well at my job and PRing the Ironman this year by almost 3 hours. I didn't think of it at the time, but the amount of confidence that just poured into my bucket subconsciously, because all those people who shout affirmations at themselves in the mirror, good for you, it never really worked for me. But what works for me is the subconscious mind doing its work, knowing that, okay, like I set this goal and I set this objective and I accomplished it. And I accomplished it while balancing a full time job in a high level position, while also then part two, studying for my professional engineer's license, which is the peak license that one can attain in engineering. So, like, that's literally the last credential that an engineer will get that really has much meaning. And so, then passing that in October and seeing not only the response that people had to me passing the Ironman, like, that's always great. And, not that it matters what people think and what people talk about, but um, seeing the respect that invokes in other people is one thing. But then while doing that, the respect that was invoked by then doing my PE for the people who actually knew what it meant, it was like a whole nother level. And I think with that, having done those two hard things and understanding the weight of that, subconsciously put, so to speak, confidence or more confidence into my bucket. And I watched as that confidence was just sitting there and me not even thinking about it or really drawing any attention to the fact that I did these things, because I'm more of a low key type of person. I just like to do what I do, get it done, and get out type guy. Um, but these sitting in my list of accolades or accomplishments for the year, and I even have this board where I was tracking my progress throughout the year, where it's like, hey, like, these are all the steps that I had to take to accomplish these goals. And hey, at the end of that long road is a big box that says pass, and that's checked off. And then the same thing with my Ironman goal, like long 8 months of nonstop consistent effort, and then at the end, box finished PR. Holding those things deeply inside of you, even if you don't think about it anymore, um, does have an effect on how you show up in different areas of your life. So, how it manifested or is manifesting and is continuing to grow and manifest in my job is, you can see that, or I can feel that when I say something, people pay attention to it, and they don't only pay attention to it, but they rely on my input to continue on to the next step of what they know that they should do, but maybe don't have the confidence to step into that position of, putting themselves out there, to get it done. So I'm finding myself in a position where I'm not only leading my group and my team, but I'm leading across teams within the organization and on the client side as well. Like, I'm growing into a position where I'm getting a lot of respect from very high up VPs for not only the quality of work that I'm doing, but they're relying on me to be an extension of them in the organization to make sure that other groups are being held to the same standard that they would want those groups to be held to and my group to be held to. So that's really how it's showing up, and it's showing up as a quiet confidence that I'm noticing in myself in this period of time. So I know this isn't like a David Goggins type video, and it's also filled with time of me sitting and thinking and pondering on those thoughts and feelings, but the value of doing hard things might not always be explicitly obvious in your life. You might not finish an Ironman and then wake up the next day and feel like you're a completely transformed person and now you're a different person than you were the day before. Because really, the transformation is happening in the process of you working to and accomplishing that goal. It's not just the one day. And the same thing works for rising in rank at your job and also achieving, say, a diploma or a license or a certification that you might be working for. I've often heard people say that they undervalue licenses and diplomas and, you know, those types of things. But in my mind, and from my own personal experience as somebody who's been through those types of programs and worked through that type of studying and then testing, is that I don't think that the people who argue against those things really get the point, because anybody can just sit by and coast and do their job, get paid like whatever they get paid, and then go home and forget about it. But putting in the extra work and doing something like studying and reading and, taking courses and tests, and then having something at the end of that road that you've passed, not only does it verify your knowledge in your field and show that you're a professional and then you meet the standard of knowledge and performance, it does all that, but what it really does is it proves to yourself that you can set a goal over a long period of time and get it done. And every time that you do that, you're putting another drop into yourself, into your confidence bucket, into your trust in yourself. And that's really what it is, confidence. It's not this whole big like pound your chest type thing. It's this trust in your ability to handle a situation properly or effectively. And the only way to build trust in yourself to handle a situation is by handling situations and doing it over and over again and doing hard things that other people might not do. But since you said that you were going to do it, you did it and you got it done. And that's another drop in the bucket that when you show up to the next situation, there's a part of you that says, I've done hard things and I do hard things. And this is just, like I said, this is just another drop in the bucket, and it's something that I can handle. And that's the quiet confidence that I'm talking about. And that's, I believe, the quiet confidence that people are not just people, but the oldest stories describe the wise man as being somebody calm who observes and understands the situation and acts with precision. And the only way somebody can be calm and comfortable and observe and act with precision is by building confidence in themselves. Yeah, that's part of it, but in the act of building confidence in yourself is the act of becoming proficient and knowledgeable and wise. So I think I'll leave with that thought that doing hard things doesn't only make you confident and stronger, it makes you more capable, it makes you wiser, and it, at the end of the day, leads to a calm trust that you have in yourself that you could handle any situation that life throws at you. So it took a little while, but we got to the root of something pretty interesting. So hopefully you like this video. That's all for today. Um, Leaving this one unedited. So for those of you who actually make it here to the end, thank you. And for those of you who don't, you'll never see this. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want.